Hi guys, how are we? I hope you're all well. This video is sort of a follow-on from my heart chakra video. After you have been and done all of the emotional releasing from your energetic and emotional body, then you can start to bring your mind into it and intellectualize or change your perspective on your trauma. Through trauma, that is how your shadow self is constructed or developed. So this is where projection really ties into all of this. As a child, you are basically born without that shadow self, without the trauma. And as you go through life and your experiences, people project onto you. The reason that people project is because something within you has triggered their shadow. Okay, so we all have light within us and shadow within us, and when your light triggers somebody else's shadow, if they don't know how to appropriately deal with that trigger and they have not healed their trauma and transmuted their shadow, then they will project at you, onto you. And that when you form an attachment to that projection, that is what causes the trauma and how you generate your own shadow aspects. It's really important to understand that when people project onto you and when they hurt you, the majority of the time, it's a behavior that they have learned, and they are projecting because they also have shadow aspects and trauma within them that has been caused by the actions of somebody else. So you can see how it is a perpetuating cycle of just people projecting onto each other, which causes trauma and pain to each other, to everyone that you interact with. It's just a cycle. It's a perpetuating cycle, and how you break out of that cycle is with understanding projection and what it is. So when someone hurts you, it is not okay that they do that. It is not okay for someone to do something that does not serve your highest and greatest good. And when they do that, they are generating negative karma, or they're putting out a low vibrational cause, and they'll get a low vibrational effect. But they are hurting you. They are acting in that way, doing these things, saying these things because they are hurt and because they have a shadow that they do not know how to deal with or heal appropriately in order for them not to project. So this is the biggest thing. Once you feel everything you needed to feel about as an experience that has traumatized you, that's where you can say, okay, I can't change that. Firstly, I cannot change the past. I cannot go back in time and do something differently. If something's happened in the past, it's happened, and you can't take it back. You can't change it. You can't get that person to change their behavior. All you can change, all you can control is how you allow that experience to affect you moving forward. And you can choose, after you heal and feel through it, you can choose to then shift your perspective of that experience. Once you reach this point where you're like, okay, this happened, I cannot change it, I cannot control that person, I cannot make that person apologize, I cannot make them take it back. All I can control is me, my perspective, and how I'm going to experience that moving forward. And I choose to not experience that in a way that hurts me. I choose to experience that in a way that brings me wisdom, in a way that connects me further to myself, in a way that helps me evolve and become a better person, so as to not repeat patterns like this again in my life. That's really it. Like at the core of it, that is it. And it is just reaching you. If you can't reach the point where you can change your perspective on it, or you can't think about this experience without emotions coming up, then that is highlighting to you that your emotional or energetic body still has that trauma attached to it, and you need to work on that first. Like I said in my previous video, once all of those emotions were felt, then I could say, like, look, yes, people have hurt me, but they hurt me because I allowed them to. And this is like, trauma is a very hard topic to discuss. It is a very triggering topic. So if anything I say doesn't resonate with you, please just click off this video and leave it, because my trauma is not hugely traumatic. Like, there are people, I'm not naive to the fact that there are people out there who have experienced some very, very awful and hard things that you should never have to experience. And that has happened to some people, and people do go through that. So I'm not trying to invalidate anybody's experience with this video and with what I'm saying. I'm just purely speaking from my experience and what has helped me. And for me personally, a lot of people hurt me because I didn't have the self-love and the self-worth required to remove those people from my life before they damaged me and before they caused all of this trauma. I didn't have boundaries. And when I'm looking at my experiences from a higher perspective, I could say to myself, well, those people hurt you because you allowed them to. And it is not, you can't blame them. You can't blame them because they were hurting themselves. Like, themselves, they were hurting. That's why they hurt you, because you triggered them. And that is why they acted the way that they did, because they have likely had somebody do this to them and hurt them. So you need to stop blaming them and have a bit of compassion for those people, even though they hurt you, because there's an experience that caused it. There's something within them that is causing that. And people who do that, they are in pain. They are hurt themselves. So yes, I allowed people to hurt me because I didn't know how to say that behavior is not okay with me, and I'm stepping away from you because that's not okay with me, because I deserve better, because I didn't know that I deserved better, because I didn't know what my worth was, because I didn't know who I was. This is the thing, whenever you heal something and you transmute your shadow, you connect back to self. And the more that you connect back to self and who you are, and you know who you are, the inner strength, the power, the inability to have those experiences hurt you anymore. It's liberating to not be afraid, to not be sad, to not be angry anymore, because you have learned what you needed to learn. See, you can find a lesson in every experience. There is a lesson in everything. And when you find that lesson and what it taught you, and you integrate that lesson, huge power when you reach that point. It really is liberating, and you free yourself from the suffering. Nobody else can free you from your suffering. You have to do it for yourself, and it is just understanding projection. The projection that people project because they are hurt, that people project because they are unhealed, because they are traumatized, because their shadow has been triggered, and there's nothing you could do to prevent that. All you can do is control how you experience it. It's really just, you have the choice to shift how you experience things internally. You really do. You have all of the power. If I can do it, so can you. Like, I'm here because I am just an everyday person who's been through some crap, who managed to figure out how to heal it. And I feel like such a different person. And there may be people watching this who have known me my whole life who don't recognize the person that's sitting here talking to you right now. Because like, I've always been this person, and there is a person like that within each and every one of you. Your truest self is within you. Your truest self is just buried under all of your shadow, under all of your trauma. And when you heal that, then you begin to embody the person that you really are. Like, if you know me in person, or you went to school with me, you would know that I had a huge fear of public speaking. I would be shaking in my boots if I ever had to speak publicly, do like a speech in front of 30 people. I would be on the verge of having a panic attack because I had that much fear and anxiety. And I really don't anymore. Like, I don't have anxiety anymore, because I've done this healing, and because I understand projection, because I understand that whatever anyone thinks about me, whatever anyone does to me, it all comes from them, from their shadow, from an unhealed place within them. And not only does it come from an unhealed place within them, when they do something to me that doesn't serve my highest and greatest good, they're generating negative karma. And the reason that you have cause and effect, and the reason that you generate negative karma, is to sort of, what's the right word? Encourage you to not be participating in those types of behaviors anymore. It's encouraging you to do the healing so that you don't project anymore, so that you don't hurt anybody anymore. And that is really how you break the cycle. If you want to break this cycle of suffering that we see in the world, heal yourself. Look at yourself. The answers that you need are within you, and you have all of the power that you could ever need within you. You've just forgotten that, because you've forgotten who you are, because every time someone projects onto you and hurts you, it separates you further from yourself, from who you truly are. And every step that you take, every small thing that you heal, you step back towards your true self, and you begin to embody who you really are. You begin to embody, this is how you embody your higher self, your soul, which is what the whole name of this Instagram is constructed around. It's unearthing, removing all of that rubbish that you have been conditioned and taught, and just your shadow, all of the distortion in your energy, getting rid of all of that stuff so that you can find underneath all of that the person that you really are, the person the energy that you are at your core, so that you can live out not only your truest form, but you can live out your purpose, and you can find your purpose, and you can be happy and have peace. This is really all it's about. Like, it's having peace within, being happy within, and knowing who you are. Honestly, knowing who you are and doing the healing work, I could cry, because like, the peace and happiness that I feel, no one could ever give that to me. No material possession could ever give that to me. I gave that to myself, and you can give it to yourself too. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.